Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is A.A. Ron. Welcome to the channel. I'm on my X page. Hey, this is a really good video. Go watch it. I like Luke Smith. Watch that. This is what I wanted to talk about right here. I got a really good topic for you guys today. All right, let's read this. The Bible is patriarchal. It's a fact. This is what Dale Partridge. I don't know who this guy is. I'm not sure. I just ran across it on X. I'm sure he's a fantastic, upstanding gentleman. The Bible is patriarchal. It's a fact. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are men. Prophets are men. The kings are men. The priests are men. The scribes are men. The apostles are men. Christ is a man. Men are clear and normative means of spiritual leadership. Okay, that's true. The Bible is patriarchal. The Old Testament, yeah, men were running everything. Somebody will say Deborah. Yeah, but she was kind of like a placeholder. She did a pretty good job, though. You gotta give Deborah credit. She did a pretty good job. You can have good women leaders, bro. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria. Maybe they were puppets. I don't know. Victorian England was pretty powerful, right? But right, I'm sure she had nothing to do with that at all. Queen Elizabeth was definitely Queen Elizabeth the First. Yeah, you had two. Man. Here's another thing, though. Women complain. This is a pretty good point. Excuse me. Women in the West complain about, oh, I'm tired of the patriarchy. But hold up, women. Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth II, and Queen Victoria have been on the throne in England for almost like 200 years, bro, like combined. Like, seriously, could you please let a man also rule for once in his life? Can a man become king? You know what I mean? Is that a possibility? Can you let us get in there? You know, to me, it looks like women have been ruling the world for quite a while. So actually, but when you really think about it, you know, women complain about inequality, but listen to what I just said. Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth II. I think the West has been very kind and very generous to women in comparison to the rest of the world. Think about it. All right. But yes, and when America was founded, women were essentially property. They could not vote. Do I agree with that? I agree with the founding fathers. Okay. Yes, I do. I think they were geniuses. Mary, there should be always cases for exceptional women. I'm not anti-woman at all. I'm about to show you. Look, I argue both sides of every argument, if you guys never noticed. But anyway, check this out. This is what I said to that. I said Mary Magdalene was the first to see Jesus risen, though. Right. Mary Magdalene was the first person to see Jesus rise from the dead. You know, really, women in the ancient world were not considered to be a credible witness. You know, women cannot testify to anything because they don't have testicles. So that's the text telling you something. All right, if you can read the Gospel of Thomas, which I consider extremely credible, Mary Magdalene is definitely like Jesus's right hand woman. All right, she's pretty high. She's pretty important. Mary Magdalene is pretty important. All right, let's not forget about that. She was the first to see the Lord rise from the dead. Let's all take, look, bro. Men and women are both humans. If you guys didn't know that, we're both humans. I hope y'all know that. Obviously, we have different attributes. All right, obviously. And we're obviously, like, this is common sense stuff. Women can be smart too. Is it rare? Yeah, but it's also rare to find a smart guy. I know dudes who still don't know how to hook up a DVD player, bro. Get out of here. You know what I mean? They can't even figure out how to use Windows. Don't even put them on Linux. They be through. My computer got a virus. Could you help me? No. So come on, bro. Romans 16. Oh, no, this is what I did. Mary Magdalene was the first to see Jesus risen. And then I asked Grok, can you give us a list of all the women Christian leaders listed in the book of Romans? It would be greatly appreciated. You got to be nice to AI. You got to get AI in your, so when they send out the killer robots, the robots might remember you like, oh, this human was nice to me. Spare him. He's not like the others. All right, Romans 16. In Romans 16, several women are noted for their leadership roles in the early church. Oh, we're not allowed to talk about this, are we? This might upset the misogynists. I'm just joking, guys. Phoebe, that's definitely a woman's name. A deaconess. A deaconess? I thought only man could be a deacon. At a Chincheri, how do you say that church described as a patron leader? How can you be a patron leader? That means father. That doesn't. I was not get carried away with the etymologies. I understand. Described as a patron and a leader who supported Paul's ministry. Junia, definitely a female name. But it's also in Romans 16. Recognized as outstanding among the apostles, indicating a significant leadership role. So that's two women already. Priscilla, a church planner who, with her husband Aquila, instructed Apollos in theology. Then Mary, there's a bunch of Marys. There's a lot of Marys in the Bible. Jesus really liked women with the name of Mary. All right, what's that all about? Mary, Tryphena, Tryphosa, and Persis. Romans 16, commended for working hard in the ministry, a term Paul uses for leadership roles. So it's obviously there's a history of women leaders in the early church. That is true. But it's in the Bible, guys. The Bible says it. That means you got to have women pastors. But hold up a second, guys. Hold up. I'm going to slowly scroll down. I hate to fucking piss on everybody's parade. To rain on your parade. To piss in the punch bowl. But I like to thoroughly examine all sides and all sides of the argument. Okay, I'm not a dogmatic freak. All right. Grok. Was Romans 16 in Marcion's book of Romans? I don't think it was. See, you guys don't study the history of Romans, do you? You thought Romans 16 was part of the original part of Romans? It was not. Was Romans 16 in Marcion's book of Romans? I don't think it was, but I believe this still reflects the practices of the early church. Right, Romans 16 was not in Marcion's Romans, and it was probably not in the original book of Romans. It was a later addition. They redacted it. You know, in biblical, when they talk about the Bible, a redaction is when they add something. So that thing was redacted. All right. So that's not even part of the original text. However, all it was doing, it was trying to link characters, from Romans to probably Acts. It was trying to, but I do still believe it reflects, some practices in the early church that yes, there were women teachers. Did Paul tell women to shut the hell up? Ask their husbands at home in Corinthians. Yes, that's in the original text. So obviously, women can get annoying. This is just obvious, bro. It's like women get annoying. They're little Minnie Mouse voices and they're yapping. You ever listen to a woman protest? However, there's always exceptional, outstanding women. Okay? It just is. It's just facts. Romans 16. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, I'm just trying to get some. I'm just trying to get women on the internet. That's the only reason I'm saying this. Romans. Actually, I do follow a lot of really smart women on YouTube. Very intelligent women scholars. What are you guys going to do about that? And I think they're smarter than a lot of you guys. You know that, right? There's a lot of women scholars who I know for a fact would run circles around a lot of you Christians out there, bro. That you think you know so much. Okay. I just know that for a fact. Romans 16 was likely not in Marcion's canon. This is Grok. So Grok verifies what I stated. Romans 16 was likely not in Marcion's canon as he edited out parts, but according to scholars like Marcus Vincent and others, they would say that was added later. And I agree with Marcus Vincent at this point. I mean, Marcion was first, bro. We wouldn't even know about Paul, probably, if it was not for Marcion. If it weren't for Marcion inventing the New Testament canon, he came up with the word New Testament. The first reference to the phrase New Testament was in reference to Marcion's book that he published, his collection of one gospel and 10 of Paul's letters. That was what Marcion called the New Testament. And Romans 16 was not in it. But that's not saying there were not women leaders, because Marcion did have women leaders. Yeah, he did. He had women leaders. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Marcion was cool like that, bro. He wasn't no dick. He wasn't like you guys. I want to show y'all something else, man. It's all about not being an asshole. I'm learning this more and more every day. It all comes down to just not being an asshole. Oh, bro, I see basketball stuff. I get sidetracked. Oh, what's that talk about? I do get a lot of sports stuff on here. I'm not gonna lie. Sports and comic books. I had another point I wanted to touch on real quick. Again, watch that Luke Smith video. That's a really good point he made in this video, man. Really good point he made. That's something I think about a lot. Oh yeah, the shit like this, man. I see this every day. You know, Christians get on the internet and they say, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't believe this, you're going to hell. You know, listen, if you are not a Christian, you are going to hell. So he's trying to convert people to being a Christian through fear. And this is what I put. Conversion through fear, huh? That's the path to the dark side. Yeah, you guys really got to get a hold of this. I used to teach through fear, tell people to fear the Lord. That's a phrase you mostly see in the Old Testament. I think it might appear in the book of Acts. That book of Acts is late. You got to do scholarship on this, man. All these books ain't all harmonizable. All right? The fear of the Lord, that's all through the Old Testament. Yahweh rules through fear. Do what I say or he's going to kill you. If you don't obey Yahweh, he's going to hit you with a famine. He's going to make you eat your children. Okay, he's going to put you to death. He's going to rain fire down on you. He's going to open up the earth, swallow you up. Okay, so that's the fear of Yahweh. Jesus don't teach through fear, man. He taught us to love the Lord, man. Okay? Oh, people could say Deuteronomy 6:4 to love the Lord. Yeah, but you keep reading and he says he's going to put you to death if you don't listen to him. Okay, Jesus has never went around, threatening people like that. Like this scripture right here, 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect. Bro, Jesus prayed for the very people that crucified him. He didn't say, oh, you're all going to hell. Man, you guys got to get your thinking caps on straight, man. You're not thinking logically out there. Okay, you don't know the difference between good and evil and right and wrong, bro. It's built into our spirits. You got to listen to the scriptures of the Spirit. Jesus he prayed for the people that crucified him. But you aren't here saying if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell. Maybe you should say, if you're not a Christian, I'm going to pray for you. How about that? That sounds a little better, don't it? A little less hateful. A little less fearful. Ain't no fear in that. There's hope. There's a message of hope. Motherfucker hope, nigga. You know what that is? Conversion through fear, huh? This is the path to the dark side. There is no fear in love. But perfect love casteth out fear. There ain't no fear. Because fear have torment. Yeah, you're tormenting people with that. We're not supposed to be out here tormenting people. That's what Yahweh does. Tormented Israel in the wilderness for 40 years. Some of them complaining and got hungry. So Yahweh rained fire on them and killed them. He was giving them manna. He was barely feeding them. But yeah, no, bro. You're not supposed to teach. That's the spirit of the devil right here. All right. I pray people stop teaching that. I can't stay, because I see a lot of Christians on X and the internet. It just has come off as so hateful. That's how I used to be. I used to be real. Even though I was teaching a hateful doctrine, I still try to be cool, though. Like, people just dicks. Just, if you don't listen, you going to hell forever. That's the love of Jesus. Like, get out of here, bro. Just get it out of my face, please. Did I have anything else? I probably had more points I wanted to make. I just wanted to bring this out. I thought that was an interesting topic to go into. Because that's one thing I see a lot on X and the internet is Christians just saying there can't be women pastors. But it's just so ignorant. I mean, should there be women pastors? But that's up to your church to decide. All I'm saying is you guys are so ignorant of early Christianity. This is my main point, is the ignorance of early Christianity. Okay, these people are not really studying anything at all, man. You really don't. All you people just repeat dogma, and it's very tiring.